Township of Parsippany Troy Hills, regular Township Council meeting of July 21st, 2015.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law by filing the notice in the office of the Township Clerk and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin board at the Municipal Building on January 8, 2015, where it has remained posted since that date. A legal notice appeared in the Daily Record on January 12, 2015, and in the Star Ledger on January 14, 2015, and was forwarded by fax and to other local newspapers and local radio stations on January 8, 2015. No council meetings are videotaped and aired on Cablevision Public Access Channel 21 at 11 o'clock a.m. on Sundays, and are also available for viewing at www.parsippany.net.
Please rise for the flag salute. Luso, if you would.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Here.
Mr. Peluso.
present.
Mr. Stanton.
Here.
Mr. Valori.
Here.
Council President Karifi.
Here. Also present, Ellen Sandman, Business Administrator, Paula Cosarelli, Assistant Business Administrator, Justin Marchetta, Esquire, covering for John Inglesino, Township Attorney, Yancy Rezermis, Township Clerk, Ann M. Cucci, CFO. Upcoming meetings, August 11th, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. Agenda meeting, August 18th, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. Regular meeting. Bids to be taken, none. Requests for quotations, proposals, qualifications, none. Ordinances for second reading and public hearing. Mr. Sheriff?
Ordinance number 2015:13 has been tabled. Make a motion to continue that table to our next meeting in August.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. DePiero, seconded by Mr. Valori. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Valori.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes. Mr. Peluso?
Ordinance number 2015:17, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, authorizing a license agreement between the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills and Little Viking Football, Inc. The notice of the ordinance above was published in the Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills, on June 23, 2015. Motion to accept ordinance 2015:17 to be heard on second and final reading by title only.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Peluso, seconded by Mr. Valori. Roll call.
All right. Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Valori.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes. This time, entertain a motion to open up the public hearing on this ordinance only. Motion made by Mr. Peluso.
I'll second.
Second made by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, see no one come forward. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing for this ordinance.
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Peluso, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Whereas the above ordinance was read in title on second reading and a hearing held thereon, now therefore let it be resolved that the said ordinance be passed on final reading and that a notice of final passage on said ordinance be published in a newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the resolution.
Motion made by Mr. Peluso.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Valori.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes. This time, entertain a motion to open up the public hearing.
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Peluso, seconded by Mr. Stanton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, see no one come forward. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Peluso, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero.
Yes.
Mr. Peluso.
Yes.
Mr. Stanton.
Yes.
Mr. Valori.
Yes.
Mr. Karifi.
Yes.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to nominate for that vacancy for the zoning board, and I'd like to nominate Frank Priori for that position.
I'll second that. Motion made by Mr. Valori, seconded by myself.
Has the
Roll.
question been answered that Mr. Peluso asked?
We requested it from Township Attorney. The information that he originally requested from Mr. Priori was provided by Mr. Priori, but in the meantime, it was inadvertently misplaced by the Township Attorney, and We did not get an answer from him, definitive answer, one way or the other.
Okay, so if we vote for this now, and we find out otherwise, we would have to rescind it, but for now, we can move forward.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, roll call?
Before, I just want to confirm this is for the unexpired term that ends this year.
Yes, for the zoning board.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Consent agenda?
Be it resolved, all items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine, non-controversial by the Township Council, be approved by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item be removed from the consent agenda, considered in its normal sequence on the agenda.
Motion made by Mr. Stanton,
Second.
seconded by Mr. DePiero. Roll call?
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Lord.
Ordinance 2015:19, an ordinance of the Township Council.
Mr. Township.
Oh, did we miss?
Township office reports? Nothing?
I just have updates if you want them
Okay,
now.
go ahead.
Okay.
With regard to the roadways and the improvements, I thought we're going to be able to reach out, which we did reach out, but they were on vacation, the people we needed to get in contact with the state. So we'll have a lot more information at the August meeting and prior to the August meeting. We're going to go up higher up on the food chain and get what Parsippany's residents and people, need to have more information. There was a hearing, but the hearing was so long ago. That initial hearing was incorporated in a 2.5 year ago overall projects for the things that were going on in the area for the state. And then when I did reach out for some of our own people, I think the engineer thought I was talking about a pre-construction meeting. We need to talk more before any pre-construction meeting happens, and we will. So we're on that case in fine fashion. I did provide to the mayor. Frank here, the information with regard to the roadways and the use of Belgian block and the areas where there are some other streets that we certainly did the concrete, and also provided some documentation by our engineer, photographs of Vale Road. So I provided that. Didn't think it was necessary to pass it out at the meeting. And with regard just to Councilman Valori's question, which was regarding a lit sign by the Paul's Diner, I had a lengthy conversation with the clerk as well as the planning board secretary, and there was a numerous amount of information. I think anyone who would be affected by it, especially the 3 residents that are Parsippany residents should attend the meeting. The next meeting is going to be on September 3rd. This is it's 43 to 45 feet up in the air. It's a lit sign. It's not, the location is not where it should be. If it was any place, if it was there at all, should be more behind the Paul's area. It's more close to the road, and it will show every 8 seconds a stream of 6 different advertisements flashing.
It's like Vegas.
Yeah. So, I'm sure that, I know that when I was speaking to Ms. Shore of their planning board in Mountain Lakes, she said that people from Paul's Diner came out objecting to it because of just what it's going to look like and the size and scope of it. The nail place came out. There were some individuals from Parsippany that came out, but in one good thing she said, because they couldn't get a quorum, the next meeting would have been in August, but this meeting was now pushed off, which is not even the best time. It's September 3rd, which is the Labor Day area, but it's a Thursday, and anybody that really needs to should come out. And I think people that don't even, just to drive by that, it's going to be, it's horrendous. I'm glad they brought it to your attention, and anybody watching this should really take note of it. And I think when I talked to Ms. Shore, she said because of when it came out, was not as much people paying attention,
Yes.
vacation time. So thank you for bringing that up,
No,
because I
thank you,
think
Ellen,
people
for
need to
following
do
up.
that, yeah.
Just a quick question. What is usually the height requirements? I mean, 40 feet.
I think this is, I mean, they're trying to go through and say, it's get a variance or get some kind of a waiver, but this is beyond my understanding of, it's not, we've had other times when you've had different things like we're going through, but it's usually in a settlement, some type of major settlement. This is, here I am, and here's my sign, and,
They're going above and beyond there.
yeah,
Okay.
way above and beyond.
Great.
Anyway.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ellen, can you also give us a status update of the tax bills when they're coming out for
Oh,
our
okay.
residents?
I can turn that over to the finance officer who met with the tax collector today.
Yeah, we met with the tax collector today. We went through all the dates. It takes time, obviously, because they have to strike the rate at the county. And they got all the paperwork, and the state has also gotten all their paperwork. We then get the duplicate and review it, get back to the county. The good news is the state, everything's going to go through, it seems. We feel that by the time we get everything and Danny reviews and certifies, we should be mailing everything by August 4th or 7th, okay? But we give 25 days.
That's the law.
Per the law. So we're also going to give a little more time, because that would be, it comes around September 4th, which is the long weekend. So we felt it probably would be best to extend it to 9/11, that it would be due on 9/11, not late on 9/11. I think that's a little tacky. So that's where we are with that.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Great. Ordinance 2015:19, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills, Morris County, New Jersey, creating Chapter 354, Article 6, Municipal Waste Receptacles of the Code of the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills. Be it resolved that the above ordinance be introduced, read by title, and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Parsippany Troy Hills on July 21st, 2014, and that said ordinance be further considered for second reading and final passage at a meeting to be held on August 18th, 2015 at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, or as soon thereafter as the matter be reached at the municipal building in said township, at which time all persons interested shall be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance. Be it further resolved that the clerk be authorized and directed to advertise said ordinance with the notice of introduction thereof being published in the official newspaper according to law. Motion to approve the above resolution?
Motion made by Mr. Valori, seconded by Mr. Stanton. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. It's time to entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make motion?
Motion made by Mr. Valori,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Paluso. Roll call.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Paluso?
Yes.
Mr. Stanton?
Yes.
Mr. Valori?
Yes.
Mr. Karifi?
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Right. Okay.
Now you have enough time to go out and watch the news now, so you'll be home in time.